Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. Thank you all so much for being here once again. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Mel and this is my YouTube channel where I'm documenting my health journey with a specific focus on weight loss in the hopes that it will help other people out there on similar journeys. Sorry this video is a little late. They are meant to be every fortnight, but I've been away for the holidays and a little bit behind schedule. And in the spirit of taking things more slowly this year and living more intentionally and rushing less, it seemed a little bit hypocritical to stress and rush to get this video out exactly at 7 p.m. on Tuesday night. So I decided to slow down, really enjoy the process of making this video, and that's why it's a little bit late. On that note, I hope you all had a lovely Christmas and New Year and you're raring to go for 2024 because it's here and we're on. So this video follows on from my last one about 2024 goal setting. So if you haven't had a chance to watch that one yet, I recommend going back, giving that a little view, and then coming back to this one. But if you just want a quick summary, my 2024 goals are, firstly, weight loss. I want to lose 20 kilos over 12 months. Secondly, fitness. I want to be able to run a kilometer without stopping. I want a regular yoga practice of twice a week and regular strength training of 3 times a week. Thirdly, personal growth, which is comprised of 2 parts. Firstly, getting to know myself again, and secondly, improving my mental health. And the fourth and final goal for 2024 is self-care, which is also comprised of 2 parts, which is firstly, skincare, taking better care of my skin, and secondly, slowing down and living life a little bit more intentionally and purposefully. In my last video, I didn't go into the how, the plan behind these goals for 2024. And I'd initially done that because I thought, I'll leave it out. It's gonna make the video too long and it's not really of interest. But I did see a few comments on the video about people wanting more detail around that. And when I started typing it out in the comment section, I thought about it a bit more and decided that this topic does deserve its own video. The 4 goals I set are like an end state for 2024. I want to look back on December 31st, 2024 and go, wow, I did it. I actually changed my life. But the how is a massive part of that, and I want to share it with you all. I want to show you exactly what I'm doing to transform my life in the next 12 months. Plus, it's a really crucial part of my journey, which means it's going to feature a lot over the next 12 months. So it makes sense to share it on this channel. And hopefully sharing the specifics of my goals for this year will help other people think of ideas for how they can achieve their own goals for 2024. So let's get started. Let me share with you how I'm going to change my life in the next 12 months. Goal number 1, weight loss. Lose 20 kilos over the next 12 months. From a food perspective, it'll be the same method I documented in my video, how I lost my first 10 kilos. So give that a little watch for some more detail, but essentially it's loads of veggies, some fruit, mainly berries, lean protein like chicken, plus some red meat and some fish. And for snacks, because I'm often in need of a little something between lunch and dinner, it'll be things like berries, boiled eggs, and nuts, plus lots of water and herbal tea, and 1 black coffee and 1 soy coffee a day. And in terms of what I cut back on, it'll be processed carbohydrates like pasta and bread, less sugar, less alcohol, and less processed food. And this dietary part is pretty standard for me. So as long as I've got my routine in place, it should be pretty straightforward. From an exercise perspective, let's discuss that next with my fitness goal. Goal number 2, fitness. So my fitness goal is comprised of 3 different things. Firstly, run a kilometer without stopping. Secondly, have a regular yoga practice of at least twice a week. And thirdly, 3 strength training sessions a week, or weights. Now, I've mentioned a few times in previous videos that I have a number of injuries that I need to manage and also just a few annoying niggles that are preventing me from doing these 3 things. One of the annoying niggles is overall stiffness, like next level stiffness. I've never met anyone who is as like stiff and immobile as me. So if I were to start strength training or running now, I would definitely injure myself. And it's happened before, many times before, and I'm pretty keen to avoid that happening again. So in order to get to a place where I'm mobile and flexible enough to do weights without hurting myself, I need to get back into yoga. However, before I get back into yoga, I have to resolve an injury I have in my hands that I've had for a while now, which prevents me from load bearing. So any position where my body weight is on my hands, which is like 90% of yoga, I get this shooting pain like in my hands down here, and I'm out, I'm done. And it's connected to my neck and shoulder region, and I'm working through that injury at the moment with the help of a physio and an osteo. But I also need to get regular massage, and I need to be doing my own foam rolling and my own stretching as well to help heal these injuries. Plus, I need to be walking every day in order to stay mobile and limber. So for now, the how of the running and the yoga and the strength training goal is actually just walking 12,000 steps a day, including 1 hour brisk walk, plus physio and osteo appointments and doing the exercises that they give me, in addition to my own stretching and foam rolling. The next stage of my how, after my injuries have been managed, will be getting back into yoga. And I'm thinking I'll probably start with yin yoga, which is a bit more gentle and easy on the body, and then work up to my favorite kind of yoga, which is vinyasa yoga. Then when I'm feeling a bit more mobile, I will look for a personal trainer to help me ease back into gym and weights training, because it has been a very long time since I have done any weight training or even stepped foot in a gym. So I'm gonna need some support to boost my confidence, but also I need someone to give me some kind of clue as to what the hell I'm doing. And then once I have a plan, strength training is on. Finally, the running. So once I have my regular yoga practice in place and I built up some strength from some weights, I probably also would have lost another 10 kilos or so, which is part of my criteria to start running, because I need to lose that extra weight in order to make the running less of a stress on my body and just less uncomfortable. So I'm strong, I'm flexible, I've lost more weight. All my running criteria would have been met, so I can slowly start building up from walking to running 1 kilometer without stopping. I used to run years ago, so I am familiar with how to slowly build up my fitness from walking to running.
Here we go!
But it has been a very long time, and it's going to feel very, very foreign. Okay, goal number 3, personal growth. This one was divided into 2 different parts. Firstly, improve my mental well-being. I want to be less anxious and more resilient. Secondly, I want to get to know myself again and use that knowledge to work towards the version of me that I know I can be, which sounds like a very bold and ambitious goal. So how am I going to do that? Well, firstly, there will be the flow-on effect from the things I'm doing for the other goals. For example, eating well and moving regularly will help my anxiety and my mental health a lot. But specific to the personal growth goal, first up, we have learning and education. I'm talking books, podcasts, YouTube channels, whatever I can get my hands on. I want to consume helpful content in line with what I want to learn and the areas of my life I want to change. And of course, if I stumble across any standout things, I'll be sure to share them with you all. Also, meditation. I plan to meditate for 10 minutes a day, and then when that becomes more familiar and I'm comfortable with that as part of my daily routine, I'll bump it to 15 minutes and then eventually 20 minutes. And that'll probably be part of my evening wind down routine for bed. Which brings me to my next point, which is to maintain a good sleep schedule, because a lack of sleep makes me a very anxious person. I'm going to spend more time by myself and become more comfortable with being uncomfortable and awkward and lonely, which sounds so depressing when I say it out loud, but it's important. I'm going to set boundaries and understand my limits and also my desires, simply what I do and do not want to do. Sometimes I have this idea in my head that in order for me to say no to something or setting a boundary, it has to be quite drastic and sensitive, and that's my boundary, so I can't do it. But in fact, if I am trying to change my life and change who I am as a person, and I'm trying to prioritize things that are in line with the version of me I want to be, I'm gonna have to say no to some things simply because it's a no, or it's not a priority for me at the moment, which is a very convenient segue into the next point, which is I'm going to stop people pleasing like my life depends on it. Sometimes putting other people's needs before your own can be appropriate, but the problem for me is that it's like my default position and it has to stop. And that means I'm gonna have to become okay with the idea that not everyone is going to like me. And that's okay, because it's more important that I like me and I'm a genuine, authentic version of myself. And let me tell you with no degree of uncertainty that this goal, the personal growth goal, will absolutely be the hardest. Even just talking about it now makes me uncomfortable, but that's why it's on the list for 2024. If I'm gonna change my life, I need to change me. Goal 4 of 4 for 2024 is self.
To help you with that, I need your permission to allow
No, thank you. Goal 4 of 4 for 2024 is self-care, and that's divided into 2 parts. Firstly, living more slowly and intentionally and purposefully, and secondly, skincare. So in terms of slowing down and living more purposefully, the way I intend to do that is firstly, more reading, less TV. Secondly, carving out time to do things that I enjoy and doing them properly. For example, having my morning coffee on the couch and not feeling rushed or feeling like I need to multitask by checking my emails or writing back to messages at the same time. I'm also going to stop rushing everywhere when I'm not actually late, because I find I get caught up in the sense of urgency of just living in a big city. So really focusing on slowing down when I don't actually need to be moving fast or in a rush. And the other things I'm doing for the other goals will help and have a flow-on effect for this one. For example, the meditating, the stretching, and the foam rolling, because that's a really good way to just slow down and be present. And skincare wise, I'm gonna have an AM and PM skincare routine, and I'm also going to have a weekly face mask and dry brush 3 times a week. Now, very important to note is that overarching all of these 4 goals and their individual how are 3 crucial points. Firstly, routine. I need to plan each week in terms of the food I'm eating, the exercise I'm doing, how I'm going to fit in my skincare, how I'm going to fit in my foam rolling and my physio appointments, and etc, etc. There needs to be a plan in place, because I have learned the hard way that without a schedule or a routine, I don't get things done. Point 2 is prioritizing. So practicing my boundary setting and making decisions that are aligned to the version of me I want to be. Point 3 is expect the unexpected. So when point 1 and point 2 go out the window, I need to be okay with that, and I need to not fall off the wagon. And this point is going to allow me to practice my resilience. So there we have it, my 4 goals for 2024 and how I intend to achieve them and change my life over the next 12 months. Okay, one last thing before we close out the video for the fortnight, and that is my hot tip for this video, which is probably the most random one I've had so far, but it's a green bean recipe, because I've seen a few people in the comments saying that they don't like veggies, or they don't eat many veggies, or they're not sure how to make veggies taste good, and I stumbled across this amazing recipe, which is delicious. It is super, super easy, and it makes me want to buy green beans every week. So if you give it a whirl, let me know in the comments how it turns out, and I will link it in the description below. Thank you all so much for watching and joining me for another video. I really appreciate the time you've all taken to be here, and I hope this video is helpful. Have a fabulous 2 weeks, and I will see you in the next video.